All right. Welcome to another webinar. We are very privileged that you are joining us. My name is Kevin Wilhelm. I am the president and co-founder of Marketing for ACPs. And one of the reasons we're doing this webinar today is so many of you, our valued clients, are asking about e-commerce. Where does it fit in? How can they utilize it? We know that patient behaviors are changing, and I know that you want to stay on top of that. And so we thought we'd bring in one of our valued partners, Otto Optics, into the conversation so you can hear directly from them what they're doing to better equip you to battle against e-commerce with even better e-commerce. We will be joined by Alex McIntosh, the founder of Otto Optics, as well as a client of ours, Dr. Kiran Ramesh, and her business manager, Trupti Patel, and they'll be joining us for about 5 minutes right at the end. And we're going to hear from them sort of their live experience on how and why they chose Otto and how it's going for them. But first, let me introduce Alex. Alex, how are you, my man?
Doing well, my friend. Yourself?
Yeah, fantastic. Thanks for jumping on this webinar. Really excited to talk to you today. Let's just dive into it. You know, you have a very interesting story. You come from industry. Tell me a little bit about your story and what led you to create the software.
I feel like interesting is a bit of a stretch, but I'll get into it anyway. I grew up in the eye care space. I grew up in Saskatchewan, which is a Canadian province for you Americans out there. But my family owned a chain of eye care practices kind of peppered through Western Canada. So even from a young age, I grew up in the space. I've seen every aspect of the business, from the lab to the sales floor to the head office. As I came of age, I started to identify a few challenges that our business was facing, and with every challenge comes opportunity. So one of the things I really noticed with my family business was, as much as we were investing in acquiring new patients, time and money and marketing dollars, it was almost like a hamster wheel. For every new patient we attracted, we lost another one, probably to the likes of 1-800 or Clearly or Costco or Walmart. And, this always frustrated me because there's no need for this to be the case. We had patients' prescriptions. We knew what they needed, when they were going to need it again. And it was just simply a lack of resources on our end for us to take advantage of that advantage that we had. So it inspired me to dig a little deeper into the issue, and that would ultimately become Otto.
Fantastic. So you were just trying to solve real problems within your own business, your family business. Tell me, why create Otto? What does it really solve specifically? What were you building, and what was the purpose?
Yeah, well, it started to me as just an interesting business case for our own company. Why are we losing these patients? What can we do to keep them coming back, to repurchase their contact lenses, or, even better, to come back for their eye exams and just, stay in our ecosystem. But we were at 25 clinics across the country, and I thought, if we have this problem, there's no way that the constellation of independent practices out there aren't also suffering from the same problem. And the proof is in the numbers. The likes of 1-800 and Clearly Contacts, they do $500 million a year in revenue simply by picking up what eye care practices are leaving behind for the reasons I just described. So I took it upon myself to go out, research the industry, research, consumer behaviors, surveyed clinics, surveyed patients, and some of the findings I had just really spoke to the need for a service like Otto. For example, 40% capture rate is pretty average in terms of contact lens sales for a clinic. They're doing a decent job of selling, contacts the first time around while patients on site after their exam, but very few patients are coming back. They just tend to take the path of least resistance, and 1-800 is winning that battle every time. So I took it upon myself to build out Otto in such a way that it was going to empower other independent clinics to thrive in this environment.
Yeah, as a patient, I have been a contact lens wearer My son, who's 12, has been wearing them for about a year. And what I've noticed has been an opportunity of communication. We know ECPs want to improve their communication. They want to improve the overall patient experience. What I've noticed is we receive a trial pair, we're sent home and sort of like hope, that we'll reorder. And I feel there's such an opportunity for eye care businesses to re-engage, not only from a revenue standpoint and trying to get that sale, but just provide a better patient experience in just checking in and seeing how that's going and reminding me about compliance. And there's so many things that, we talk to ECPs about why they got into the industry, that your software actually helps enhance. So with that, I would love to know exactly what it does. Let's see a demo. Highlight some of the challenges you're solving with that demo. You're going to cast your phone, is that right? And show us exactly what it looks like. So let me turn it over to you and see what this does.
Absolutely. So, kind of in a nutshell, what Otto really does is it leans into the notion that as loyal as your patients are, which they are, your patients love you unanimously, they want to buy from you. But, despite their loyalty, they're seduced by convenience. So they're always going to take the path of least resistance. Maybe not always, but most of the time they're going to take the path of least resistance. And historically, this has been the e-commerce giants. It's pretty easy to go on to 1-800, order your contacts, but it doesn't need to be that way. You guys actually have an informational advantage. You know what patients need, when they're going to need it. You can create an even more seamless purchasing experience, meanwhile providing them with this beautiful patient experience, showing them that you're looking out for them by sending them refill reminders in their time of need, giving them easy ways to reorder their prescriptions so that they're not having to waste their time doing something boring like ordering contacts. And yeah, so really everybody wins, and customers get to feel good about themselves by maintaining loyalty to you. So I'll share my phone screen here. I'll walk through a super quick little demonstration, and you'll see how easy it is, everything that I'm talking about here.
I've always found this demo to be pretty powerful. We're showing you a QR code on the screen right now. Take your phone, open your camera viewer, look at the QR code and follow along so that you can actually engage the same level as what you're about to see here.
So I'll just set the stage a little bit here. Imagine I'm the patient of an eye care practice. I'm on the tail end of my current supply. I'm running low, maybe a few lenses left, and seemingly out of nowhere, I get a friendly little reminder from my eye care provider, letting me know that I might be due for a contact lens refill. And here it comes through right now. So I can pop that open. As you can see, it's nothing pushy. It's just helping me let me know that I'm due for an order, and whenever I'm ready, I can come back, and this link is custom to me. So, sometimes sending out a reminder is useful. Our research shows that patients are 35% more likely to repurchase from you if you send them reminders, but that's only half the battle. A reminder can sometimes just nudge them towards 1-800 or Clearly or Walmart. So we include not just the lure, but also the hook, which is this custom link. So whenever I'm ready to order, I hit the link here, and it takes me right to my prescriptions. We're not sending patients down a Easter egg hunt, searching for their product. As you all know, many patients don't even really know what contact lenses they wear, so there's no need to go send them chasing after it, trying to figure it out. We already know what they need to wear, so we present it right to them right away, and they can see their pricing at various supply levels with rebates all factored right in, so they can make an informed decision. If they want, they can opt for an auto refill subscription style service or just a one-off purchase. Either way, it's going to be super easy for them. And when they hit quick reorder, they can provide payment, place the order, just verify their payment method here, and continue. And they're done. So you saw it literally took 10 or 15 seconds. I slowed it down by talking through it the whole time, but it's that simple.
So just a couple things while you are showing the demo, I immediately thought about two questions. One is the ship to home versus pick up in store. Do both options exist through Otto?
Absolutely. Patient wants to pick it up in office, that's an option for them. Or if they want to ship it to store, that's an option. Or sorry, if they want to ship it directly to themselves, that's an option as well. One thing I glossed over there, you probably saw Telescope Eye Care kind of featured throughout that whole experience. That's just our fictional eye care practice. Otto is fully white labeled, so it's your logo, your name, your colors, all your branding on full display throughout the entire patient experience.
Fantastic. And the second one is a lot of practitioners are uncomfortable just selling contact lenses if their prescription has expired. You have a way to prevent them if they want to actually prompt them to book an exam. So it could be lead generating from a chance of getting them back in the chair to get their eye exam and then refill their prescription. Is that correct?
Absolutely. So there's actually kind of two sides to that coin. By managing prescriptions in Otto directly, it allows for orders on valid prescriptions to just flow through automatically. In this scenario that I just showed you, the patient hits submit, and because we're integrated with your suppliers as well, as soon as the patient hits submit, the purchase order gets shipped right off to your supplier for drop ship fulfillment, and the proceeds of the sale get captured and deposited right into your account. So all at once, patient has this beautiful experience, getting the reminder, being able to reorder in just a few seconds, and you guys look like heroes by providing this beautiful service, and you capture the recurring sale without having to do anything. To your question though, there's also scenarios where prescriptions might be expired or they might not be pre-validated or anything like that. Anytime a patient or a prescription is about to expire, we prompt the patient, let them know that they're due to come back in for an exam. Otherwise, we always allow you in the clinic in those scenarios to just verify the order, make sure it's all legit before anything gets processed. So we're definitely making sure that there's an opportunity for you to always do your due diligence before an order gets processed.
I love it. And there's so much more that I'm sure people have questions. They can book a demo with you, ask those questions. We're just trying to go high level today. With that, now is when I'd like to bring in two guests. One is Dr. Kiran Ramesh and her business manager, Trupti Patel, both from Vision Care Center in Scarborough, Ontario. These ladies have actually been marketing for ECP clients for years, probably 5 years. Welcome to the webinar, ladies. How are we today?
We're well. How are you?
Good. Thank you. It's so nice to see your smiling faces. Thank you for joining us today to share your experience. We have Alex on as well, which I know you guys have quite a good relationship being an Otto client. The questions I have for you really come down to what prompted you to search out this type of software? What was appealing? How has the experience been both from a practitioner standpoint, but also your patient experience since incorporating Otto?
Okay, well, the patient experience, ooh, practical
Awesome.
experience, ooh, we're going to get into that. But what prompted us to start? To be honest, I think like every other practitioner out there, there's a lot of options. And so when Alex came to us, I thought, okay, you know what, let me just hear him out. But we were already working with someone else, and so we weren't entirely sure whether this was something that we were going to do.
Yeah.
And then when he brought on his presentation, and I told him, I'm like, listen, buddy, I only have like, I think 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah.
So in 10, 15 minutes, he's like, and the biggest thing was that it was so super convenient and it made so much more sense. And what we had prior to this was something that we actually had to take time to sit there and market.
A lot of time.
Right?
Yeah.
And I think as an optometrist, what you need to really think about is, do you want something that's just earning you revenue and that's passive and it's convenient for patients? Or do you want something that you're actually going to sit there and you're going to market like crazy? And so I'm not saying you don't have to market this, you can market it, but I don't need to market it like crazy. It's doing so much for us that it was a no-brainer. And I think setting it up,
Trupti, like from our standpoint, what I found was amazing was the actual setup of it. So I think we watched 3 training videos. They were like 2 minutes long. And then I gave him the price list, and within like an hour and a half, everything was set up. I found that unbelievable. Like, I have never set up an entire system that's been that fast. And then to train my staff, I think it took us maybe 15 minutes. We did the whole process and we were like ready to go. That was like seamless. It was crazy.
And within the first week, our contact lens fitter, she came into me and she hugged me and she said,
Why
"Thank
didn't
you
have this
so much.
before?
Yeah, why didn't you have
Where
this
was this?"
before?" It's the back end is easy.
Yeah.
So a lot of us, like the platforms, the back end requires a lot of work. So the back end process was very, very simplistic.
Mhm.
In terms of patients, honestly, your revenue on how much you're going to do in contact lens sales without you having to take all that administrative time, like our administrative time has decreased
By half.
by 50%.
Yeah.
And so now the girls in my office can spend that time doing other things.
Yeah.
So it's just been an absolute no-brainer for us.
Mhm.
And you said you were working with someone else. What has been the biggest difference? Because we actually get this a lot, is people have a provider. It's a lot of effort to switch over.
Right.
Sounds like you're happy. What was the biggest benefit for you for switching over?
So I think for the admin side of things, it was the integration. Like everything was with Otto Optics, everything was integrated from our practice management system to Otto Optics within like a couple of, I don't even know, it was like 20 minutes, it was done. And now we don't have to punch in the patient details or anything when we do the actual order. Everything's like imported, and placing the order was like, I mean, it's like half.
So yeah, it was seamless. Like everything's integrated with our practice management software. That was one of the main things. So the decreased admin time.
And the other thing is the suppliers. So we're not placing the order after the patients place the order. We're not placing the order with the supplier website. Now everything's done on one platform.
Yeah, so we're not going to Cooper, to J&J, to Alcon, to
all
B&L.
done,
It's
like,
all out of one
automatically.
platform, right?
Yeah, which our other database would.
And then in terms of sales, the number of sales that we were having coming in through our old platform would have been like
One every 2 months.
Yeah, one every 2 months. And now we get,
daily.
like daily, there's sales coming in. And so honestly, it's just a no-brainer.
Okay, so when you talk about just overall ROI, increased revenue, decreased admin time, you have seen a noticeable change from what you're investing into what you're seeing back. You've said no brainer. What would you say to any colleagues that are watching this, unsure whether they should book a demo with Alex? What would you say to them?
120%.
Yes.
I mean, our return on investment, I kept both platforms going because I was still earning enough revenue from Otto Optics that until my contract was done with my old platform, it didn't bother me that I could still continue to pay for it. And I think that's what I've heard from certain colleagues. Well, I've already got this and I'm already paying for this. You know, who cares? You will make more money. And it should never be about money because really it's not. It's really about what's best for the patient. And for patients, what are patients looking for? They're looking for convenience. And for doctors, what are you looking for? You're looking for compliance. You're looking for your team to be happy and supporting your team.
And making the most of your time.
Exactly.
Yeah, I agree. It's not all about money, but it's nice when that part works.
Absolutely.
The patient experience and your employee experience. So if you can check all those boxes, it's definitely the no-brainer.
100%. Yeah.
Do it now.
Yeah. We're big fans, can you tell? Alex.
Well, I think you guys got to wear the t-shirts. I think that's
I know.
Alex, we need t-shirts.
But I mean, one of the things we do is we love growing other practices. And to be honest, like this is just, if I could put it in every clinic, I would. Yeah. If I had any say in that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you both so much for joining us today. We really appreciate it. And thanks for sharing your experience with your colleagues.
Perfect. Thanks, Kevin.
Take care.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
Bye.
Take care, Alex.
Well, Alex, what a great testimonial, obviously from clients that have been using it for a while. We're a marketing agency. We love to support the growth of our clients. I think why people hire us is to help them really grow, get new patients in the door, where I think your services, your software, why I think this is such a good partnership is it complements our efforts so well in that it sort of retains them and helps create a great patient experience. But all of that works together to create an overall brand feel, a brand promise. And so, I love that, between the two of our organizations, we've integrated. And so if you're a client of Marketing for ECPs, we've worked on special pricing, we've worked on integrating it, building the Otto widget directly into client websites, helping with the integrations and all of that. And so I would just highly recommend, if you're watching this, if you're Marketing for ECPs clients, like Scarborough and Vision Care Center in Scarborough, you too could experience something very similar. And so please reach out to Alex, book a demo, ask your questions, see it for yourself, and try it. I believe that, Alex, what is you have a trial period, do you not, like a 90-day, try it, or you can kind of walk away if you're not seeing results? How do you help mitigate the risk for people that want to try this out?
Great question. So risk kind of comes in two forms. There's obviously the monetary risk of trying a new service, but there's the time and the sort of reputational risk as well. If you're putting time into trying something new and it doesn't work out, that's lost time. So we try to hit both of those. On the one hand, Otto is incredibly straightforward to set up. Literally 20 minutes of your time, we can go live the same day if you're so inclined. And then financially, we have a 90-day money-back guarantee. You can try us out for 90 days. If you absolutely hate it, on day 89, send me a message. Be gentle, don't upset me too much, but I'll give you your money back, no questions asked. We don't want to tether you into anything. There's no contracts or anything like that. So we really try to make it so that there's nothing getting in the way of you being able to at least give this a shot. Fantastic.
Well, let's wrap up there. Thank you really much. How can someone get in touch with you? How do you want them to reach out to you?
We have a website, ottooptics.io. That's Otto, OTTOOPTICS.io, where you can book a demo. You can walk yourself through a little self-guided demo. I think we'll post a link to that here as well. Also, we'll probably provide a link, I think, to booking a demo here, wherever you're watching this. But yeah, I hope to hear from each and every one of you, and we can have a quick chat and see if there's a fit for your business.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for your time, and thanks for helping our clients out the way you do. And I look forward to connecting soon.
Likewise, I think you hit an important point. There's acquiring new patients, and there's maintaining existing patients, but then there's also optimizing the patient base that you currently have. And I think together we create a sort of virtuous cycle in that way. So yeah.
All right. Well, have a good one.
You too. Thanks.
Thanks.